Hello and welcome to my allotment, welcome to my polytunnel. I'm going to be spending the morning in here today. It is extremely hot today in general and the polytunnel is even hotter. It's around 24 degrees outside today, the sun is shining and I feel like summer's here already. It has been such nice weather recently. So today my job is to clear this polytunnel. So behind me is the kale, the spring greens, the broccoli, the cauliflower that's overwintered in the polytunnel. And it's all still producing really nicely. I mean, look, the spring greens are still going. They're looking absolutely great. I'm still getting broccoli. I mean, just look at that, absolutely stunning. I've let everything else flower. The bees have been having a great time. My cauliflower is ready to harvest. And look, the kale is still going too. Amazing leaves on there. I've got a big bag of tomatoes that I really want to get planted out today. We have got really nice weather forecast for the next 10 days at least. It's going to be over 22, 23 degrees each day. So perfect opportunity to get those summer crops started in the polytunnel. But it does mean that all of this behind me needs to come out. The cauliflower, the broccoli and the kale I'm just going to take out at the base. I'm going to harvest the leaves and the flowers, and then the spring greens I'm actually going to keep them in the ground. So I'm going to harvest the outer leaves and keep the inside to grow because that is still producing really nicely, and until these tomatoes get really big there should be enough room for them both to grow. So behind me here now, I've cleared out a lot of the crops that were overwintered. I've just left a few of the spring greens in to just keep producing over the next couple of weeks. And then down the front here, I've actually got 4 courgettes. I've never grown courgettes in the polytunnel before, so I'm going to give it a try. So I've got 4 courgettes down the front, and then I've pretty much got a row of black Crimea, and a row of San Marzano there. Now I do space my tomatoes quite close together. I did it last year. If you've seen my videos, I think I had like nearly 40 tomatoes in this polytunnel. They all did absolutely fine as long as you prune them really well. So make sure they don't get too over bushy with their leaves, and as long as there's a nice airflow going through, they're absolutely fine. So that is now all planted up really nicely. So I've got 10 tomatoes in these 2 rows, and I've got 4 courgettes down the end. I've still got a couple of spring greens in because, like I say, they're still producing really nicely. And then I've got my garlic as well, but that will be being harvested relatively soon. My elephant garlic is already showing scapes, so it just shows you how much further ahead it is when it is grown in a polytunnel. So these will be coming out relatively soon, and then as the tomatoes grow up, all the rest of this will then come out, the spring greens and the garlic. And I'm going to be using the compostable tomato clips with compostable twine. So I'm going to be putting the twine on the tomato clip, clipping it to the bottom of the tomato, and then using the string upwards and connecting it to these bars up here. And that means when the tomato season is over, I can just take the whole thing and compost it all, because it can be quite difficult trying to get twine and tomato clips and everything else off of the tomatoes if you dig the twine in and things like that. So that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to change it this year and see how it gets on. So I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to harvest all of the cauliflowers, and I'm going to put them in my big bag over here. I've bought a really big bag for life sort of style thing, because I knew I'd been harvesting quite a lot of greens and cauliflowers and things like that. So as you can see, I'm just filling this bag up, and that will be full. So yeah, I'm going to harvest the cauliflowers. Some are quite small, but they look really cute. Others are a lot bigger, but they're a really good size actually. So I'm going to harvest all of those now. So I've now got an absolutely huge bag that I've harvested of all different leaves and cauliflowers and broccoli and things like that, and the flowers, the brassica flowers as well. And now I've got that whole corner planted up with my tomatoes. So it's actually been a really productive day. It is so hot actually. I'm going to make a move now because I'm starting to really feel the heat. Thank you so much for watching me today, and I will see you again soon.